What do you do when you're getting to the end of your money, but you're not getting to the end of the month? That is, there's a week left until your next paycheck, and you are scraping pennies from the bottom of a barrel. It's a real shame that many of us haven't learned good financial skills, but that's something that we can change. I'd like to share with you a strategy that I've been using to avoid being in a feast or famine type situation. Now, in my situation, I'm married and we have two paychecks coming in and they go into a joint account, and then we take a certain amount of money out of that joint money and transfer it to our personal accounts. Every expenditure such as gas, electricity, car insurance, house payment is all taken care of by the joint account. Anything that we want to spend is taken care of in our personal accounts. We do not let each other know what we're buying in our personal accounts because we don't want to be judged. When our paychecks come in, we have a minimum balance that we want to keep in the joint account. The minimum balance that we calculated was based on every bill that we have throughout the month added together. So, for example, if you pay $1,000 in rent, $150 in car insurance, and $100 to your electric bill, then you would need a minimum balance of $1,250. If at the point in which your paychecks come into your account, you are at less than $1,250, then you cannot pay yourself a full paycheck. That is, if I was to take $300 and give it to myself and $300 and give it to my wife, I wouldn't be able to do that if I did not meet my minimum balance. We would both have to sacrifice some of that personal money. Now, the reason for this is because we don't want to be stressed about the bills coming out of the account. The more time that you spend looking at these bills and trying to work out where you're going to find the dimes to pay it, the more stressed you're going to feel. And it's nice knowing that the money in your personal account is yours to spend and that no random bills are going to come out of there. Before we used this setup, one of us would have the car insurance being debited from our accounts, and it would always catch us off guard. Now we don't have that problem. So that's the house bills taken care of. But how do you take care of the feast or famine situation where you get your personal paycheck of, say, $300 and it's a feast? You're going on Amazon, you're ordering 50 packages, they're getting delivered the next day. Man, it's a party. But then 10 days down the line, it's famine. You've run out of money because you really miscalculated at the beginning. You didn't really think about how much money you had available. The problem with feast or famine is that you don't really meet any of the goals that you want to meet. For example, suppose I have a $300 paycheck and I want to save $100 of that. Well, if I just save that $100 at the beginning and then spend money and then I'm running out of money, I'm going to start pulling money back from my savings because I'm feeling desperate, and that's the easiest place for me to get it. This is where the joint account structure comes into play. The way that I receive my paycheck is I take it in small daily payments from the joint account to my personal account. It is automatically transferred every day. And so let's use an example. Suppose I'm getting paid $30 a day. It's a small amount, so I'm not looking at that and thinking, whoa, I've got so much money, I should go and buy something big that I want. Instead, it's a more reasonable amount that I can look at and say, this is what I have for the day. I'd like to save $10 of this. Now, in my personal account, I also like to have a minimum balance of $100. And then, whenever I have more than $150, I move the excess into savings. And so, on a day-to-day basis, I'm constantly making decisions on how to spend my money reasonably, because I don't want to have less than $100 in the account, and I want to save some money to put into my savings account, so it really discourages me from spending the $30. And then when there's something I want to buy, I just save up my money in the checking account until I have enough. And the greatest thing about this is that I never end up in a famine type situation because there's always another $30 coming the next day. And so that's my strategy for staying on top of my finances. What's yours? Leave it in the comment below, and I'll see you next time.